Biden has found the perfect enemy. The president's assault on providers of junk fees is currently his most well-liked concept. Republicans have been outraged over Joe Biden's assertion that they, or at least many of them, are committed to shredding Medicare and Social Security for the past week. Evidently, this statement was uncontroversial in a number of ways. Since the beginning of the New Deal, Republicans have been dedicated to its destruction. Just last year, Rick Scott, the chair of the National Republican Senatorial Committee, and thus the person who sets the party's policy agenda, declared that if the GOP regained control of both chambers of Congress, it would sunset these programs along with any other laws that had been in place for 5 years or more. Eliminating social assistance programs is the Republican Party's central tenet. It is the one aspect of the GOP that has been constant for almost a century. Those who have been suddenly objecting have been serving up an unmistakable "I am not owned" message. There has been much discussion about how Biden has contained the opposition on these issues. The GOP leadership has, for the time being, taken budget cutbacks off the table despite continuing to hold the debt ceiling hostage. Yet it's likely that this will just be a brief reprieve. There's no reason to believe that anything Biden said during the State of the Union has deterred them from their long-term plan to slash these programs, and they most certainly won't be persuaded to help preserve them. The debt ceiling, though, continues to be a major concern. When it does, as it will in the coming months, the conflict may be disastrous. Whipping inflation, the other major economic issue facing the Biden administration, is still a problem, but there isn't a clear strategy it can use to stop the price increases of the previous 18 months. Going into 2024, the broader economic policy outlook is still unclear. But Biden has started work on a new economic promise that has the Junk Fee Prevention Act as its aim. Everyone will run across a ton of garbage fees over a long enough timescale. These are the arbitrary fees that are tacked onto purchases of everything from concert tickets to rental cars to hotels to flights, and everyone despises them. They are frequently given Orwellian names. Convenience fees is a particular favorite, given that you pay them to avoid a hassle that the merchant ostensibly shouldn't impose. These charges are omnipresent and regressive, making them essentially a tax. As a Brooklyn native, I have hailed the gradual collapse of the Brooklyn Nets because it has led to a sharp drop in ticket prices. However, these tickets are often at least 33% more expensive than they seem when you try to buy them, because to garbage fees. Junk fees might not be important to the very wealthy, but they are important to the majority of people in houses like the one I grew up in. Every month, they add up to hundreds of dollars. During the State of the Union speech last week, Vice President Biden remarked, "They make it tougher for you to pay the bills or afford that family trip. I am aware of how unjust it is when a business overcharges you without being caught. Not any longer." For the past few months, the Biden administration has promoted a number of programs meant to cut down on false accusations. To eliminate junk fees, the FTC, CFPB, and Department of Transportation have all been given responsibility. The war against junk fees deftly steals a page from Elizabeth Warren's economic playbook, fostering competition by focusing on the most pernicious instances of dishonesty available. Junk fees are something that almost everyone can connect to. They give the government a quick and easy way to reduce costs, and they target the many actors who are given carte blanche to nickel and dime regular people. A recent survey by Morning Consult found that around 3 in 4 Americans support the concept of fighting back against the sellers of junk fees. It's a given. In fact, this strategy ought to have been implemented while Democrats were in control of Congress and the need to vigorously combat inflation was much more pressing. But the most compelling argument against trash fees is the policy's exceptionally strong nonpartisan support. According to Morning Consult, strong majorities of Democrats, Republicans, and independents say Congress should pass laws to limit these fees, indicating that Biden's proposals had bipartisan support. People are weary of overtly political arguments, which is natural in a time when everything has turned into a partisan fight. This is largely why bipartisanship is consistently supported in American politics. Yet, the fight against junk fees is one partisan front that will enable Biden to take on a group that the public despises even more than politicians: corporate profiteers. That's today's latest news. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment so that this channel can continue to exist. Thank you for listening to the end, and I hope it's useful.